You don't win friends with salad.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
Alright, today has been kind of one of those really long days and kind of difficult days, the best laid plans, all that kind of stuff, and wow, what a day. Just a normal Saturday, you know, you waiting for the mail, and it doesn't show up till nearly 5 o'clock in the evening. And I was like, okay, and then where is it? Didn't get the bell ring, heard nothing. They dropped it off on my front porch, and there it was, nothing wrong with it. And there was only one package, nothing else, nothing, nope, nada, nothing. Towards the end of the day, if you didn't know, I'm an usher at my church, and I couldn't get there because there was a parade in the way. And so I was directed through the other side of town, and I get through the other side of town, and I'm going farther and farther away from where I need to be. Plus, you know, I had a coupon for a, you know, something at Dairy Queen I was going to use afterwards, and I couldn't get to any of that. By the time I got all reorganized and everything, I was like, forget it. It just can't, you know, because the parade might have still been cleaning up and town would have been kind of ridiculous. But they always have a Christmas parade. Usually I can get through there, but I couldn't get through to the street that I wanted to. Maybe they shifted streets, maybe. I don't know how far the parade was going to go. But again, and I have to be somewhere tomorrow. The swap meet is tomorrow, and I need to get there nice and early. So it was just kind of a weird day. Got some good stuff organized, I suppose. I had lost some other coupons for a different place that I could have probably gotten to, but again, it was taking me way out of my way because I started at one end of town, and then I would have had to gone all the way back through the next town over back to where I needed to get to, and it was so ridiculous. I just couldn't do it. So I just had a nice bowl of spaghetti tonight, whatever, so whatever that was. But I have one amazing, at least I think it's amazing, piece of paper, and again, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to deal with this. I need to get a proper display for this and find somewhere. I've got a kind of a more proper setup. I want to call it a library. I don't film much, and that's where all my vinyl records, I say all my vinyl record players are over there. And it's just a different type of setup. I don't ever film in there. But I think this will probably have to go in there because that room has the most possibility of as light damage. I don't want to get any light damage to this item. To you it may not be a lot. To some people it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you got that. But that's the wonderful thing of eBay. You can find all kinds of crazy different things you didn't even know. Now if you remember The Simpsons, and you remember that episode where Bart steals his dad's credit card? I didn't do that. Steals his dad's credit card and went online and said, I want a limited edition itchy and scratchy animation cell, thinking he was going to get one of the what they call the hero shots or the goodie shots. The money shot is what I call it. And he didn't get that, and he's like, Lisa's like, oh, you're in trouble, but they were really, and they took their little scratchy or itchy or scratchy arm to the comic book shop, and it's like, this is not even worth $1. This is worthless. Why did you even waste my time on it? This sort of thing like that. Worst animation cell ever. He did. I don't remember exactly what he said, but something to those effects. And so he's like, aw, you know, because Bart is always sighing, aw. But anyway, I did not get an animation cell, but I got the next best thing. And it's on paper here. And the reason why I got it, partially, is because there was a Black Friday, well, actually, there was a 50% off sale, so that started me on the right foot. Then there was an extra 15% off Black Friday, so that was even cooler. Now, this is not what I would call the money shot, but this is from the animation studios. This is like, I think SE might be scene, and this is maybe BG is background, 256A1, and this is one of the pencil sketches from The Simpsons. And this is from the episode Bart versus Australia. Now I need to watch the episode there. There's some other markings there, and that's the production paper there. You don't see a lot of Simpsons animation cells per se, but you will go to eBay and find various Simpsons. And the reason why I picked this one is because it had lots of characters on it, lots of drawing. It shows the process and steps of it, and you could definitely tell that these are Simpsons characters. Some of them were like finished, and the other reason I wanted this one is because it's actually from the animation process, I guess, if you will. This is, there would have been probably a cell, an animation cell that probably went on top of this, which I think is really, really cool. There's some light red pencil and then actual pencil there. So I think that's very, very cool. You want to be careful because there's a lot of production ones of these, but they're like cell copies or cell layout copies. And so when it means copy is a copy, but they used them for production. And if you get them from a reliable seller, then you're not just getting a recent Xerox. Some of those can actually be really cool because it gives you an idea what they were doing. A lot of times they have production markings on the side, and some of them are lucky enough to be autographed, which I think is really cool, which I might have to get one of these days. But I just think this was super, super cool to have this. And I was looking for something that I could throw into a picture frame. Now again, that's not Bart and Lisa, and you never know. These could be two people that were just random people in the front there, or they could have been friends with Bart and Lisa. Really don't know what this whole scene is, because again, I looked up Bart versus Australia on YouTube, and I'm not finding necessarily clips of this, when this exactly was. A Simpsons aficionado might know. These things are not cheap, but unless you get them on sale, and people are paying up for some of the good ones, If it's a recognizable character, there were a lot of these that were lesser. I want to say lesser than this one, meaning that they just didn't have the same oomph as that one did, because it took somebody a little bit of time to draw each one of those people on there. And then there's nothing on the back here. Being very, very careful not to get any spaghetti or grease on this here. So I gotta figure out, I'm more than likely gonna want to get like a modern frame and then stick it in there with a mat around it. So the Goodwill store is usually pretty good, and I will store this in my animation folder until I know what to do with it. But I just think that is really, really awesome here. So there is that one, and that's all that came in. I have a couple of things on the agenda for tomorrow. And tomorrow, hopefully all that goes well, I will hit the swap meet around 6 o'clock. I'm going to be technically helping out my friend as a vendor, and several other people said, yeah, you should be able to get in without any issue if you're helping set up and put stuff away for somebody. And I'll be doing that. Otherwise, it would be $5 to get in. It's not a big deal either way if they want to charge me $5. But I want to make sure that I sneak in. I may say sneak in, but I make sure I don't see my vendor friends first, because then I'll have to tag along with my friend's son, and I want to hit the baseball card vendor really quickly before that happens. You want to hit that before it happens, and make sure I get kind of situated there first. Then dig through the cards, and then like 20 minutes later, then I will go and see, and then we can do our shopping, and I can do my, selling if I sell a couple of CDs or what have you. Hopefully I'll pay for the afternoon. I'm not there to get rich, but, and also it's nice because, I sold something and somebody threw in an extra Christmas bonus in there, $50. I was like, well, that was very nice of them to do that. Because I really wasn't, I really didn't get as much as I thought I would, but they threw in an extra 50, I think. So very happy with that. And so it should be a fun afternoon. I'm basically just looking for things that I can utilize and repurpose and reuse. But again, I like to check the 75-cent vintage box here, because that's the only way I can get. And also it'll help me make up for the fact that I didn't see OMC this year for Black Friday. Again, people are talking about cutting back and people are not making videos. And a lot of people, frankly, just had to stop and get rid of some of their collections and parcel things out, and they had to take a break. And I really have to take a break from cards. And a couple other things here before I forget is that I did a small little order through one of the eBay sellers that I buy from stuff fairly frequently. You would not believe what the shipping estimate was. It's not January, It's February. Sometime in February. That is really crazy. That's really crazy for like $10 worth of baseball cards to get here in February, and a lot of them were autograph related. So I'm so glad that I didn't pick out anything for anybody's YouTube gifts in that particular pile there. Otherwise, what I'd have to do, what some people are doing, is YouTube gifts next year. And then also my vinyl record, which I purchased from the UK, has got an update on it, so it's technically on its way. Where it is right now, I don't know. That video hopefully will not be too much of a dud, because most people don't understand electronic music, and a lot of record stores don't even have sections for that. Mine sure doesn't. And I was just, it was crazy. The insane amount of record store day videos that are still piling up on YouTube. And what's so great about YouTube is that anybody that goes to like a comic book convention, a sports card event or something, or a record store day event, we start learning about new YouTubers that are anywhere between 100 and 400 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't bring much, to my channel, because I don't fit that algorithm. Like a lot of people complain, I don't fit the algorithm, so they leave YouTube. So that's pretty much all I have. I've got other stuff in the works. I've got this Think About It in the background here. It was just a little short-lived PBS series that I've been watching for free on Indiana University Archives or whatever. So that's another streaming type service of old films. But anyway, let me know what you think about the Simpsons thing. If you have any other ideas or any kind of any kind of history or information about how these things left the Fox studios or whatever, why they got out to the market. I know a lot of things. You would think they would keep all their archives, but they would have 8 billion of these things laying around. But I just think it's a one-of-one. It's a one-of-a-kind. Think of those sketch cards that you get from all the different card companies, and I got a full sheet, large page. That's like a sheet and a half size of notebook paper. Think of a regular sheet of notebook paper and like another half or 2/3 of a piece of paper like that. That's pretty awesome. That's or printer paper or whatever you want to call it. That's pretty awesome. So let me know what you think of that, and hope everybody has a great weekend. I will try to do a review of the weekend swap meet if I can, and thank you for watching.
Shh.